What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be doing a little bit of a recap of Gold Series. Maximum Gold El Dorado was fully leaked over the past couple of days, and I waited until we pretty much had like a full confirmation to make a video about it, just because it'd give me a little bit more to talk about and it was a little bit more concrete. Obviously, there were some leaks last week that ended up leading to the whole copyright strike fiasco and whatnot, but I think that's all behind us now. So what we're going to do today is just kind of take a look at some of the noteworthy stuff from Gold Series and then go over the entire set as a whole. I'll give my thoughts on it, just to really kind of put out there briefly how I feel about it. I've already pre-ordered some now after the leaks happened. I did manage to get a pretty good price. It looks like they're pre-selling a lot higher now just after seeing what was in it. I got mine on eBay actually for around $107, I think, before taxes and shipping. But it looks like on some of the big three sites like Gamer's Choice, Tier Zero, YuGiOh Daily, they're going around $150, $160 now. So you might have missed the boat to get them at like a super affordable price, but I imagine you should still be able to get some at a relatively close to retail value if you're interested in cracking those open. So let's jump into the video though. If you guys do enjoy the content, please hit the like button and subscribe for more videos. I really do appreciate the support. And let's kick things off with the card I was fairly certain was going to be in there. I included this on the thumbnail for the videos that I made last week. And I did mention that it was speculated the other code talkers were in there. Access code talker is confirmed. It looks really nice as a gold rare, at least from the picture. I know people love or hate gold, like there's no in between. I think some cards actually look really good, especially Links, but then I think some don't look as good, and that's typically like regular monsters. But the premium gold definitely looks better than whatever gold series we were getting back in like 2015 with the weird gold secret rare and all that. Access code is huge. Everybody complained about it not being in the Megatins, and I said, just wait, you're probably going to see it in one of the other sets. It makes sense that they wanted to kind of spread that out a little bit. The Megatins were already going to sell. They were already going to be a great set. There was no reason to blow your entire load on just the one, and you can see now that they have put access code in here, which is really cool. It's going to give the set some value. It's a big chase card that people were going after, and it should hopefully bring the price down exponentially. So that is a huge hit as far as I'm concerned. Eldritch the Golden Lord getting another reprint. We knew that all the Eldritch stuff was going to be in here. It was called El Dorado. There was almost no way they weren't going to tie into that archetype. But what we didn't know was how cool Eldritch was going to get an alternate art. And it looks amazing. I know this isn't the biggest picture. I kind of had to crop these from some of the YouTube videos and try to make it look a little presentable. But Eldritch the Golden Lord, he's kind of chilling there on his throne. He's got his legs crossed, he's waiting, he's just hanging out. This is a really, really cool alternate art. I think it looks great. I can't wait to see what they look like in person. And more than anything else, I'm just happy that he's getting another print now, because now that there's that many copies, it should be super accessible, and you should really be able to get whichever ones you want. I mean, the secret rares are going to be expensive, but in terms of picking and choosing between the two golds, they should both be affordable, and this is definitely a home run for the alternates. Prank Kids Place, and all the Prank Kids cards are in here. I'm fairly certain every Prank Kids card is in here, if at least most of them are going to be rares, but Prank Kids Place is a gold, so that's pretty cool. You can get the whole deck now. Even Meow Meow Moo is in there. Nice choices. I do think people were wondering when the Prank Kids were going to get reprints. Obviously, some of the prices did drop with the limiting of Meow Meow, but the deck did win a YCS. It is a really solid, competitive, maybe rogue-ish option, and people like it a lot, so it's good to see them putting it in here. And Hidden Summoners was just one of those sets that like was not really in a position to get some kind of mass reprint. It wasn't going to be in like tins or whatever, so it makes sense to put the Prank Kid stuff here. We've got Nightmare Unicorn, which is my favorite alternate art reveal. This is absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to see it in person, and I can't help but think how good it would look as a secret rare as well. The gold rare is definitely going to do it some justice, especially based on Nightmare Unicorn's colors and the outlines, but you can see that Ib is riding Nightmare Unicorn. People were asking why Unicorn was going to get an alt, and I don't really know the logic behind it, but I'm not complaining because this is a beautiful alternate art, and is by far my favorite of the alts that they have done. For this one, I think the Appaloosa from last year's Gold Series might be my favorite still, but this is easily a close second, and it looks awesome. So I can't wait to see, get that in person, and hopefully pull some of those out of our Gold Series. We've got Prank Kids, as I mentioned already. We've got Danger Bigfoot. That's one we knew was getting an alternate art. This strikes me, if people are familiar with the card WoW Warrior, I kind of see him in this in some capacity. But it's a really cool art. It's Bigfoot in like his Yeti form, and it's nice to see that he's in here. He is also in here with his regular art, so you'll probably have a 50-50 shot if they do it the same way they did last year's Megatins, which is fine. It's still going to be accessible and pullable, so that'll be a really cool card to get your hands on if you're a Danger collector, or if you just wanted a change for Bigfoot. He looks really good, and they did a nice job with the art there. Red Eyes Black Dragon, this artwork we've known about for a while. It's in the Prismatic Art Collection, which I believe I actually have a live opening of the Korean Prismatic Art Collection coming up pretty soon in preparation for Gold Series. So once that comes in, we'll let you know. We'll do a live stream of it. It should be a lot of fun, and try to get that Masquerena in the Prismatic Rare for sure. But Red Eyes Black Dragon just looks incredible here. I love this art. I hope it gets a secret at some point because this artwork is just great, but I don't love the gold on normal monsters. I just don't think it looks amazing. It's just my personal preference. I know some people like it. Really good to see that Red Eyes art make its way over here, though. Predaplant Verte Anaconda, another massive reprint. This was like a $70 card. It was integral to both the Phoenix Enforcer and Dragoon engines, and now you can get it a lot cheaper. We knew they were going to cash in on it again, that it wasn't necessarily just going to get banned or something before there was at least a chance for them to frame it as a selling point, and that's what they're doing here. So Verte Anaconda in here, hopefully not short printed at all. A really, really good reprint, and again, this is just nailing it out of the park in terms of being in touch with what people are wanting and sort of giving us a mix of like cards that maybe needed some reprints but weren't like super meta relevant like Bigfoot, but also cards that are dominating and were getting just extremely high in price. We've got Masquerena, not a shock here, but there was some people who were wondering if the alt art was going to be the only one or if it was just going to be this. Both of them are in here, which is cool. They didn't do that with Appaloosa last year. We only had the alt. Masquerena looks cool. It's definitely nice that this will be a bit more accessible. I adore this artwork. I think this is just such a nice alternate. I'm really hoping we can get one from the Korean collection with the Starlight Prismatic just because it looks amazing. This is just a great card to see in here. I'm happy that there's two Masquerenas, and this will be really fun to get, as well as the Masquerena collection with all the binder and the mat and everything else that's coming out pretty soon. I think it's November, so some point this month. That'll be a really good one to look after. We've got Sky Striker Ace Rose. Looks like the only Sky Striker reprint in here. I'm not really sure why. It just got reprinted in the Mega Tins, and it's pretty cheap. I guess this may have been set a while back, so maybe people were just sort of preparing for it. I would have liked to see some of the other Sky Strikers in here as rares, like Shizuku and Engage, Widow Anchor, since, you know, they did have the room to put that in there, but maybe we'll see that in a later set, or maybe people are just not going to complain about it at all. Dinosaurs we knew about. We got Soul Eating Oberaptor in here. I talked about that a lot in the last video, as well as Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Eldixir of Black Awakening, as well as all the other Eldritch cards are in here, but it's nice to see confirmation on that one visually. Cursed Eldland, a really good card. Was like a $50 super at one point. Started to drop when Eldritch fell out of favor, and, you know, could have easily gone back up. It had the deck, you know, sort of returned to the surface, and there was no reprint for it, so this is a great preemptive reprint for a card that isn't seeing a ton of play right now, but could at any point be viable, especially with how good the Eldritch engine is. We've got Rocket Tracer, another card from the structure deck that was like $6 to $8, so nice to see that. I would have liked to see Return of the Dragon Lords get a reprint too, with Blue Eyes stuff coming out, but we may see that down the line a little bit. There's still Brothers of Legend, Grand Creators, who the heck knows what else they're going to be putting reprints in, so I understand waiting on that, and I certainly don't want to complain or nitpick. We've got the Numeron stuff, which I'll probably do a video at some point talking about in depth, because there's just a lot to them, and I don't really know that I can cover it all in a recap sort of reaction video, but Numeron stuff looks cool, definitely nice. The XCs typically look great as gold rares, so happy about that. Gamma, huge reprint here. It had a rare from Toon Chaos. It was starting to hit pretty high numbers, almost $7 to $8, so this should bring it down a bit, but I do think the gold will surpass the rare, and it looks okay. Like I said, it's not my favorite, but Gamma's now you got a decent variety of options for Gamma if you want to play them, so you can pick and choose whichever one you like the best. The alternate art Plasma Rescue Cat, we covered those ad nauseum in the last video. I think they look amazing. Rescue Cat is a really cool alt. Plasma, I think, would have looked incredible as a secret rare, but we'll see what happens and what they end up doing there, whether or not it's his only printing or if we get him in something else. Typically, I think they're going to want to have that as a selling point for Gold Series, so we may not see Plasma for a while. And that brings us back to access code. So that's pretty much the key stuff. And what I really wanted to also just touch on, in case anybody hadn't had a chance to see it yet, is this is the full set spoiler. So of note, we know Chamber Dragon Maid's getting reprinted here. I believe Chamber Dragon Maid might have an alternate art as well. I don't know if we've seen it yet, though. So that's just, you know, food for thought. I guess we'll see what happens when we get there. Maybe it doesn't, though, and maybe it's just the standard art, and I misinterpreted Konami's announcement. Pretty cool to see the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragons get their reprints in here, fitting with the theme of alternates. Evil's Arlogia, another good reprint. Dolka definitely didn't need it, but I guess it's harmless. Black Rose Dragon, both alternate art and regular gold. The alt art looks really cool. I'll have to see it in person. Invocation is a huge reprint as well. I mentioned that briefly in the earlier video. Just another card that as long as they don't short print it, it should finally hit a price where it's like affordable and you don't have to worry about chasing it down like crazy. Torrential Tribute, another one that's just a good card to have in here. I think it's a decent reprint and will likely be a card people want, especially looking at how much the other copies were. Magical Dimension is really for Dimension Conjurer with the Battle of Chaos set because it's specific and it just hasn't had a reprint in such a long time that it made sense they were going to put it out here. And then, of course, like, Weather Painter stuff is in here, so if that's something you're into, then, yeah, you got those as well. And I happen to notice Danger Nessie as well was in the set, so that was a good reprint. I was just thinking out loud when I first looked at these reels, I'm like, oh, that's weird that there's only Bigfoot and none of the other Dangers in here, especially with how much Such and Nessie are. I don't see Tsuchinoko in here, so unless it just hasn't been cracked or revealed, but Nessie definitely a good one. These are all just the standard rares for the most part, and there's a lot of good stuff here. Urgent Schedule, Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon, all the Red Dragon Archfiend stuff, Omega, Phantom Knights, Lambda's huge. I think Lambda's going to be like the totally awesome of this set. You get the other Weather Painter stuff. You've got, you know, the Altergeist stuff, I guess, is fine. Dyson Sphere. So they did a good job with the rares here for the most part. A lot of them are cards that people will want. And even looking over at like Deep Sea Diva, some of the other Eldritch stuff, Rainbow Neos is huge, Ancient Gear Fusion and Summon Limit are both really big, and Dragon Maid Hospitality was like a $30 super rare, so another card that I think was really, really essential that we get a reprint of. So, I mean, overall, just to quickly surmise my thoughts, this set looks like it's going to be an absolute home run. They nailed the balance with like high-value reprints and reprints of other cards that kind of need it, while having some of those middling cards as well, like Extravagance, like Masquerena, like Logia, and even some of the Danger stuff and Gamma. Like, you're going to have a few top-end cards like Access Code and Verte, but you're going to have that middle of the pack, and then you're going to have those lower-end rares that people will want as well. And it's great for the casual player or even competitive player who wants to get access to stuff that they just didn't have the money to before. So, yep, really, really home run on this set. I'm extremely optimistic. I absolutely would recommend. If you're on the fence about buying it, I would recommend making the investment only if, A, you're, planning to get it and open it and you want to pull them, or B, you're planning on it long term. I wouldn't expect any kind of immediate flip, and obviously I'm not a financial advisor, but when I say that, I mean if you're going to put your money into a Yu-Gi-Oh product and you're a collector or someone who likes to open stuff, or you just want to get a better, competitive. People ask me sometimes, like, oh, what's the best product to buy if I want to get back into it? And like, singles are great, and you should probably always go for singles, but sometimes that's not an option, or sometimes people just want to open stuff. And if that's, the scenario you're in, I do think you could do pretty well overall with this set. So that would be my recommendation. Shop around, see if you can find anything. I would recommend looking on eBay first. I mean, I'm not incentivized for any of the big three sites or anything, so I'll just be straight up with you and tell you that I think their prices are a little high, but I don't necessarily blame them. I think there's been a huge demand after the leaks came out, and people are going to buy, and they're going to adjust their inventory accordingly. So, yeah, we don't have ratios yet, so it's hard to tell if anything's going to be shorted. I'm hopeful that's not the case, but we will see, and whether or not there's any loose ends that haven't been confirmed. But I'd like to think that at least all the big name stuff has been revealed, and we'll see what happens as things trickle down. That's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment down below if you'd like. Tell me what your favorite thing is from this, what you're looking forward to. Burst of Destiny comes out Friday. I'm hoping to have a box before the weekend. We'll see what happens. If we do, we'll do a live opening and go with that. And also, like I said, I got a special video coming up pretty soon for the Prismatic Art Collection. We'll get a closer look at some of these arts before they actually come out in English and see what they look like, and looking forward to it. So, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.